What if the dream of retiring early is actually a trap? I'm going to share a Japanese secret, one powerful word that can give you a reason to wake up with joy and purpose every single day. To start this journey, subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss what's next. What if I told you that there is a special Japanese word that holds a secret? A secret to a long, happy, and truly meaningful life. And what if I told you that this is not just a word, but a way of living? A way of waking up every single morning with a feeling of peace, a feeling of energy, and a feeling of clarity right here in your heart. That word is Ikigai. Now, before we begin our story, I want you to know, yes, this video might feel a little long. This is because I will not rush through this beautiful idea. I promise you, I will explain everything in a way that is easy to understand. Even if this is the very first time you are hearing this word, and even if your English is still at a basic level, you will understand it deeply. We will go step by step, slowly, clearly, and powerfully. And I truly believe if you stay with me until the very end of our story today, this might be one of the most meaningful videos you have ever watched on YouTube. So now find a quiet place, take a soft breath, and let's begin our journey together. Part 1. What is the meaning of life? Let me begin with a story. There was once a Japanese woman. She was a mother, a wife, a teacher, a kind and gentle human being. But one day, something unexpected happened. She suddenly fell into a deep coma. Her body was alive, lying still in a hospital bed, but her mind, her spirit, was somewhere else entirely. The doctors were not sure if she would ever wake up. They could not give her family much hope. Her family stood beside her bed day after day. They held her hand, their tears falling silently onto the white sheets. They waited, and they hoped. But something strange, something magical happened to the woman while she was unconscious. She said that she found herself in a completely white space. It was not empty or scary. It was quiet. It was peaceful. It was perfectly, beautifully still. And then, in the middle of this soft white light, she heard a voice. The voice was not loud or frightening. It was calm and clear, and it asked her a question. "Who are you?" The woman, a little surprised, answered softly, "I am a mother of 4 children." But the voice replied with no judgment, just gentle curiosity. "We are not asking what you do. We are asking, who are you?" She thought for a moment, a little confused. She said, "I am a school teacher." The voice repeated its gentle question. "That is your profession, your job. But who are you?" She tried again. "I am Japanese. I am a Buddhist. I am a woman." And every time the voice simply said, "That is your culture. That is your religion. That is your gender. But still, who are you?" And in that quiet, peaceful moment, she realized something profound. Something that shook her to her very soul. She had spent her entire life playing different roles. She was a wife to her husband, a mother to her children, a teacher to her students, a citizen of her country. But she had never, not once, really asked herself that one powerful question. Who am I when you take all of those things away? Who am I at my very center? The voice then said with a feeling of warmth, "When you know who you truly are, you may return." And just like that, with a soft gasp of air, she woke up. Her eyes opened, and she saw the faces of her family, their tears now turning into tears of joy. Not everyone believed her story about the white room and the gentle voice. Some thought it was just a dream from the coma. But she did not care what they thought, because from that day forward, she lived her life in a completely different way. She began searching for something deeper. Not a new job, not a new title, not a new daily routine, No, she was searching for a reason to be alive, a reason to wake up every single morning, a reason to smile even on the difficult days, a reason to exist. That reason, that deep, personal, beautiful reason for being, is what the Japanese call Ikigai. So what exactly is Ikigai? Ikigai is a beautiful word that is a little difficult to translate directly into English. It means something like the reason for being, or in simpler words, the reason you get up in the morning. It is not just about making money. It is not about becoming famous. It is not about doing what society or your family tells you to do. It is about something that lives deep inside of you. A quiet, gentle voice in your heart that says, This is why I am here. Some people find their Ikigai in their work, like a doctor who loves healing people. Some find it in taking care of others, like a parent who finds joy in raising their children. Some find it in art, or teaching, or building things with their hands. Some find it in growing food from the earth, or even just in sharing smiles with strangers. But the important thing is this: we all have one. You have an Ikigai. I have an Ikigai. Every single person in the world has an Ikigai waiting to be discovered. The problem is most of us are so busy with life that we forget to look for it. We forget to listen for that quiet voice. So how do we find it? How do we begin this search? That is where the 4 questions come in. These are not questions you can answer quickly in just 5 minutes. These are questions you need to sit with, questions you need to reflect on. Maybe you can write about them in a notebook. You think about them, you feel them, and slowly, gently, your real self, your true self, begins to appear. Let's look at these 4 powerful questions one by one. Question 1. What do you love? This is the first and maybe the most important question of all. What is something that makes your heart feel alive? What is something that gives you energy instead of taking it away? Maybe you love cooking wonderful meals for your family. Maybe you love writing stories in a quiet room. Maybe you love helping people solve their problems or fixing things that are broken. Perhaps you love dancing, planting trees, or cleaning your home with love and care. Maybe you love singing songs or just listening quietly while a friend shares their problems. This is not about what makes you money. This is not about being practical. This is about what makes you feel truly, deeply happy. That is the first part of Ikigai, your passion. Question 2. What are you good at? We all have something that we are naturally good at. We all have a special talent. Some people are very good listeners. They make others feel safe and understood. Some people are good with their hands. They can build or draw or fix anything. Some people are good with numbers. Some are wonderful with children or with animals. Some people are great at understanding how other people feel their emotions. This does not have to be something big that the world celebrates. Even if it's something simple like being a peaceful person in a chaotic, noisy world, that is a gift. That is a skill. Ask yourself, what do people often thank me for? What do I do well, even if I don't try too hard? That is the second part of Ikigai, your talent. Question 3. What does the world need? Now, this question is not about saving the entire planet all by yourself. It is about looking around you at your small world and asking, how can I help someone today? What little thing can I give? Maybe your village needs someone to grow fresh, healthy food. Maybe your friend just needs someone to talk to someone to listen without judging. Maybe your neighborhood needs someone to care for the elderly people who live alone. Maybe the world needs your voice, your kindness, your unique way of thinking. Ikigai is not selfish. It is about using what you love and what you are good at to make the world just a little bit better. That is the third part of Ikigai, your mission. Question 4. What can you be paid for? Let's be honest. We all need to survive. We need to buy food, pay our rent, and take care of our families. Ikigai understands this. It asks, what if your purpose could also support your life? Maybe you love teaching and you are good at it. Can you offer online classes? Maybe you love baking bread. Can you open a small tiny bakery in your town? Maybe you love writing. Can you help other people write their stories? This does not mean you have to chase millions of dollars. It simply means finding a way to do what you love in a way that also feeds you, supports your family, and gives you a stable, peaceful life. That is the fourth and final part of Ikigai. Your profession. Now imagine this. When you find something that answers all 4 of these questions, something you love, something you are good at, something the world needs, and something you can be paid for, that magical place in the middle where all 4 circles meet, that is your Ikigai. And when you live with Ikigai, you don't just survive, you truly, deeply live. Let me give you a real simple example. There is a woman named Maria. She is 32 years old, and she lives in a small town in Brazil. Every morning she wakes up at 5:00 a.m. and she begins to bake. The sun is not yet in the sky, but her kitchen is warm and bright. She prepares fresh warm bread for the people of her small town. She doesn't own a big famous company. She doesn't make a huge amount of money. But when she bakes, when her hands are in the dough, she feels completely alive. She forgets all of her stress. Her thoughts become calm and quiet. She smiles without even trying. She gives her bread to the people in her town with love, and she earns just enough money to live a quiet, peaceful life. Now think about it. What does Maria love baking? What is she good at creating beautiful, delicious recipes? What does the world need? Her town needs fresh, healthy food every morning. What can she be paid for? Her small bakery provides her with just enough income. This is Maria's Ikigai. And the beauty of it is that your Ikigai doesn't have to be big or famous. It doesn't have to change the world. It just has to be true for you. Now I want to pause here for a moment and ask you something. We have just talked about these 4 big questions. What you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. Finding the answers is a real journey. So I am curious. Which of these 4 questions feels the most difficult for you to answer right now in your own life? Please take a moment to think about it and share your thoughts in the comments below. There is no right or wrong answer, and reading each other's experiences can help all of us feel less alone on this path. Part 2. Understanding Ikigai and the Circle of Life. In the last part, you discovered 4 powerful questions. Questions that can help you find your reason for being. But now, let's go a little deeper. Because the Japanese didn't just create the idea of Ikigai. They also created a simple and beautiful diagram, a picture, to help people see it and find it in a clear, powerful way. This is known as the Ikigai Venn diagram. It looks like 4 circles that overlap, and it is one of the most famous tools for self-discovery in the world today. But before we talk about the different parts of the circle, let me explain the idea behind it. Imagine your life is a big puzzle. You are not just your job. You are not just your dreams. You are not just your special talents or your responsibilities. You are a combination of all of these things. And when all of these pieces connect in the right way, you feel whole. You feel a deep sense of peace. You feel purpose. You feel a kind of joy that is much deeper than just simple happiness. That feeling of being whole is what this circle helps you find. Now let me explain the 4 parts of the circle again. But this time, let's go deeper with more understanding. 1. What you love. This is your passion. This is the thing that fills you with energy. When you are doing it, you lose track of time. Hours can pass by like minutes. You feel alive, creative, and free. You don't need someone to motivate you to do it because you do it out of pure love. But passion alone is not always enough. There are many people in the world who love painting or writing or dancing, but they struggle. They feel sad because they cannot turn their passion into a full life that supports them. So passion is just one important piece of the puzzle. 2. What you are good at. This is your profession. Now imagine you are really skilled at something. Maybe it's teaching complex ideas in a simple way. Maybe it's coding websites or designing beautiful homes. This is your profession. It's the thing you can do better than most other people. But sometimes people are very good at things they do not love. They feel stuck in jobs they hate. They are successful on the outside, but they feel empty on the inside. Why? Because they are missing the heart. The love, the passion. So your profession is another important piece, but still it's not the full picture. 3. What the world needs. This is your mission. This is about service. It is about giving your life a meaning that is bigger than just yourself. It's when you use your passion and your skill to do something that helps other people. Having a mission gives you a reason to grow. It gives you a reason to get up every single morning, even when things are difficult. But again, if your mission does not also support your life financially, it can become very stressful. You can burn out. So, this is a key part of the puzzle, but still it is only one part. 4. What you can be paid for. This is your vocation. This is where your purpose meets stability. It is where you use your special gifts to make a living. Without this piece, you may struggle with worry about money. You may feel lost or anxious even if you love what you do, because we all need to support ourselves and our families in some way. Your vocation is your way to survive and live with dignity. Now watch what happens when these 4 things connect in different ways. If you combine what you love and what you're good at, you feel satisfaction. But if it doesn't help others, something can feel a little selfish or incomplete. If you combine what you're good at and what pays you well, you have a profession. But if you don't love it, you can feel comfortable but also trapped and empty. If you combine what the world needs and what you're paid for, you have a vocation. But if you are not good at it, you might feel like you are a fake or an imposter. You feel excited, but also uncertain. If you combine what you love and what the world needs, you have a mission. But if you don't get paid for it, you might feel delight and fullness, but you will also burn out from financial difficulty. But when all 4 circles connect, when you find something you love, something you are good at, something that the world needs, and something that can support your life, that sweet spot right in the very center, that is your Ikigai. That is the center of the circle. That is where your soul finally feels at home. Let's take a new example. Let's meet David, a 45-year-old chef in Italy. David grew up loving food. As a small child, he watched his grandmother, his nonna, cook fresh pasta every Sunday. The whole house would fill with the smell of tomatoes and basil. He started cooking with her, his small hands covered in flour. He loved it. He felt completely alive in the kitchen. That is his passion. Then over the years, he became really good at it. He studied cooking, he practiced for hours and hours, and he eventually opened his own small kitchen. People from all over his town came to eat his food. They said it tasted like home. That is his profession. But David didn't want to just make money. He wanted to give something more, something back to his community. So he started a small free program to teach young kids from poor families how to cook. He wanted to give them skills, confidence, and a love for food. That is his mission. And yes, he earns enough money from his restaurant and his cooking classes to live a comfortable life. That is his vocation. So now David wakes up early every morning. He cooks with joy. He teaches with love. And he lives with a deep sense of peace. Not just because of his career, but because he is living right in the center of his Ikigai circle. Why is this circle so important? Because so many people live their whole life in only one corner of this picture. Some people live only in their passion without any income, and they struggle constantly with money. Some people live only in their profession without any love for their work, and they feel empty and bored. Some people live only in their mission without the right skills, and they feel insecure. And some people live only in their vocation without a real purpose, and they feel stuck. But those who find and live their Ikigai, they live in the center. And that is why in Japan, you can see elders even at the age of 90 or 100 who still wake up early. They go out to their gardens, they cook, they talk with friends. They walk, they teach, they paint, they dance, they sing. Not because they have to, but because they want to, because they have found their reason to live. That is the magic of the Ikigai circle. It is not just a diagram on a piece of paper. It is a mirror. It helps you see who you truly are and who you were always meant to be. This idea of finding your center is so powerful, isn't it? It's a journey we are all on. If you want to continue this journey with me and explore more stories like this, stories about finding meaning, peace and purpose in your life, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss the next part of our story, where we will talk about the practical steps you can take to find your own Ikigai. Part 3. How to find your own Ikigai. Now comes the real, and perhaps the most important question. How do you find your Ikigai? Because it is easy to say, follow your passion. But it is much harder to know what your passion truly is. It is easy to say, do what you love. But what if you don't know what you love anymore? What if life has made you forget? That is the problem we are going to try to solve now. Slowly, carefully, and with a lot of love and patience for ourselves. Step 1. Start by remembering your childhood joy. Before the world told you who you should be, before you started worrying about money or grades or what other people think, before all the pressure of adult life, what did you love doing as a child? Think back. Did you love to draw for hours? Did you love to sing even if you were off-key? Did you love playing outside, exploring the woods, or building things with your hands? Did you enjoy helping other people or solving little puzzles? Those small things, those simple joys from your childhood, often hold big answers. Even if you cannot do exactly the same thing now as an adult, the feeling behind it is a clue. If you loved building with blocks, maybe you have a love for creating and organizing. If you loved telling stories to your toys, maybe you have a gift for communication. Step 2. Notice what makes you forget time. Have you ever been doing something and suddenly you look up and realize that hours have passed by like minutes? You forgot to eat, you forgot to check your phone. That feeling is a psychological state called flow. And flow is a very strong sign of Ikigai. Think about your life right now. When do you feel completely focused? What activity makes you forget to check your social media? What makes you feel, this is me. This feels right. Maybe it's when you are cooking a delicious meal. Maybe it's when you are fixing a machine and trying to understand how it works. Maybe it is when you are writing in your journal, or creating music, or walking in silence in nature. Start there. That feeling of flow is a compass pointing you towards your purpose. Step 3. Listen to the compliments you always receive. Sometimes other people can see our gifts more clearly than we can see them ourselves. We are often blind to our own best qualities. So ask yourself this question: what do people often thank me for? What do my friends or family always say that I am good at? Maybe you are the friend who always listens patiently when someone has a problem. Maybe people say you give the best advice. Maybe you are brilliant at organizing events or planning trips. Maybe you always know how to make people laugh even when they are sad. These are not small things. These are keys to understanding your unique purpose. Pay attention to them. They are valuable clues. Step 4. Explore, don't just decide. Finding your Ikigai is not like finding a perfect answer on a test in one day. It is much more like trying on different clothes to see what fits you best. You have to experiment. You have to explore. You try new things. You notice what feels natural and gives you energy. And you also notice what feels wrong and drains your energy. Give yourself permission to try new things without pressure. You could volunteer for a cause you care about. You could join a weekend workshop to learn a new skill. You could start a small side project just for fun. You could help someone for free. You could take an online class or write a blog about something you find interesting, or plant a small garden on your balcony. And slowly, gently, as you try these things, your Ikigai begins to reveal itself to you. It speaks to you through your feelings. Step 5. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Your Ikigai will never come and knock on your door while you are sitting on the sofa overthinking everything. It doesn't work like that. Ikigai is found through action. It is found through movement. Even one small step every day is enough. Maybe you work a full-time job that you don't love and you feel tired all the time. I understand. But you can start with just 10 minutes a day. Just 10 minutes doing something that you enjoy. Something that feels meaningful to you. That small, tiny habit can slowly grow and become your new identity. Let's meet Aisha. Aisha is a 28-year-old woman living in Kenya. She works as a receptionist in a big hotel. The job pays her bills, but she doesn't feel inspired or excited by it. She feels like a small part of a big machine. One evening, a guest at the hotel asked her if she could recommend a good walking tour of the city. On an impulse, Aisha smiled and said, "You know what, I will show you myself." She took the guest on a walk around her town. She told him stories about the buildings. She showed him the hidden art in the streets. She shared food with him from the local stalls. She explained the culture with passion and energy. When they returned to the hotel, the guest was so happy. He said to her, "That was amazing. You should do this for a living. You are incredible at this." In that moment, Aisha felt something shift inside her heart. She realized she loved storytelling. She knew her city so deeply, so intimately. Talking about its history gave her energy. And people loved the way she explained her culture. Now, every weekend, Aisha organizes her own walking tours. She makes a little extra money. She meets new people from all over the world. And for the first time in a long time, she feels completely alive again. That is her Ikigai. And it all started with just one small walk. Finding your Ikigai is not a big, loud, dramatic moment. It is not a lightning strike from the sky. It is a quiet discovery. It is a soft whisper from your heart. It is the moment when you say to yourself, "Ah, this is what I was meant to do." And you feel it not just in your mind, but deep in your bones. And once you find it, even if you earn a little less money, even if you have to work a little harder, even if nobody else in the world understands why you are doing it, you will wake up with energy. You will feel proud of who you are. And you will stop asking that painful question, what is the point of my life? Because now you will know. Part 4. The 4 Secrets to a Long, Happy, and Healthy Life. Now that you understand what Ikigai is and how you might begin to find it, let's go even deeper. Because the book Ikigai doesn't just teach us how to live with purpose, it also teaches us how to live longer. And not just live more years, but live more beautiful, joyful years. So the big question is, why do so many people in Japan, especially on a small island called Okinawa, live to be 90, 100, and even 110 years old? Is it because of advanced medicine? No. Is it because they are rich? No. It is because of their lifestyle, their way of eating, moving, thinking, connecting with others, and living with purpose every single day. Let's explore the 4 big secrets of these joyful, long-living people. Secret number 1. A healthy relationship with food. In Okinawa, people follow a simple ancient rule that comes from the wise philosopher Confucius. The rule is called Hara Hachi Bu. It's a beautiful phrase that means, eat until you are 80% full. They do not overeat. They do not eat until they feel stuffed and heavy. They stop eating when they are just starting to feel full, when they are still feeling a little bit light. They eat slowly. They pay attention to their food. They respect it. And they never, ever waste it. Their meals are full of colorful vegetables, tofu sweet potatoes, small amounts of fish rice, green tea, miso soup, and seaweed. They don't count calories or follow complicated diet plans. They simply eat mindfully. They treat food like it is medicine for their body. In most parts of the world, people eat until they feel heavy and tired. In Okinawa, they eat until they feel light and energized. This one small habit is one of the biggest reasons they live longer, healthier lives. They don't diet. They honor their bodies. Secret number 2. Keep moving even when you are 90. In most modern cities, when people get old, they often sit all day. They sit in a chair, they watch television. But in Okinawa, they move every single day. They take long walks. They work in their gardens, bending and stretching. They sweep the floors of their homes. They stretch their bodies when they wake up, raising their hands to the sky. They cook. They shop for their own food. They serve tea to their friends. They care for their grandchildren. For them, movement is not about going to a gym or doing intense exercise. It is about living a life in motion. Even the furniture in Okinawan homes helps with this. Most people there sit on traditional tatami mats on the floor. This means that every time they sit down and every time they stand up, they are using their leg muscles and stretching their bodies. They don't go to a gym, but they live longer and are more mobile than people who do. Why? Because they never stop moving. Even at 95 years old, they keep their bodies alive and strong, one small step at a time. Secret number 3. A strong community and connection. In Okinawa, people are part of something beautiful called a moai. A moai is a small group of friends, usually about 5 to 10 people, who support each other for their entire lives. They are like a second family. They meet regularly, sometimes every day. They share food, they share stories, they drink tea together. They share laughter, and they also share sadness. They share memories. If someone in the moai gets sick, the group helps them. They cook for them. They clean for them. If someone feels lonely, they visit them. If someone is happy and celebrating something, they celebrate together. In many big cities today, people feel very isolated and lonely. But in Okinawa, nobody is truly alone. This deep, powerful connection keeps the heart young. It reduces stress. And it gives people a reason to live because they are not just living for themselves. They are living for each other. This idea of a moai, a circle of friends for life, is so beautiful. It reminds us that our connections with others are one of the most important things for our happiness. If this story makes you think of your own special friends, your own moai, maybe you could share this video with them. It could be a beautiful way to tell them that you value their friendship. Secret number 4. A clear purpose that never retires. This is perhaps the biggest and most important difference between the Okinawan way of life and modern life in many other countries. In most countries, people work very hard their entire lives dreaming of the day they can finally retire and rest. But in Okinawa, people never truly retire from their purpose. Yes, they might stop working a difficult full-time job, but they do not stop living with Ikigai. A 102-year-old man might still play his traditional instrument for his community. A 97-year-old woman may still wake up every morning to tend to her small garden. An 89-year-old fisherman may still go out to the sea for a few hours. Why? Because when your heart has a purpose, your body keeps going. They don't wait for the weekend. They don't wait for a vacation. They don't wait to be free. They are already free, because they are doing something they love every single day. Let me tell you about Mr. Kamada. Mr. Kamada wakes up at 6:00 a.m. every day. He stretches his arms to the sky. He eats a light, healthy breakfast of vegetables and miso soup. Then he walks around his tiny, beautiful garden. He plants new flowers. He checks on his vegetables. He calls his friend to ask if she is doing okay. He fixes small broken tools in his workshop. He drinks green tea with his neighbors. He laughs often. And at night, he goes to sleep with a smile on his face. He says, "I don't know when I will die, but I know that I will live, really live, until the very last day." This is the heart of Ikigai. It is not about living forever. It is about living fully, for as long as you possibly can. Part 5: Retirement Work and Health. The Hidden Truth. Now let's talk about something that almost nobody wants to hear. But Ikigai teaches it to us very clearly. Retiring early may not always bring you the happiness you dream of. In fact, for many people, retirement leads to sadness, boredom, deep loneliness, and even an earlier death. Why? Why does this happen? Because we as human beings are not made to do nothing. We are made to create, to connect, to grow, to serve, to learn, and to move. When people stop working completely, when they stop having a reason to get out of bed, they often lose their sense of identity. They start to ask themselves, who am I now? What do I do all day? What is the point of my life now? This is not about working in a stressful office until you are 90 years old. No, this is about never retiring from your purpose. Even if your job ends, your Ikigai must not end. Let me share a real story with you. The story of Tomoko, an 87-year-old seamstress. Tomoko spent 60 years of her life sewing beautiful clothes. It was her job. She retired when she was 72, but after just 1 year of doing nothing of watching TV and just waiting for the day to end, she felt tired, anxious, and completely useless. One morning, she saw her old sewing machine sitting in the corner of her room covered in dust. She felt a pull in her heart. She went over, cleaned it, and turned it on. The familiar sound of the machine filled the quiet room. She began stitching small pouches and beautiful handkerchiefs. Then she started giving them away for free at the local market. The people who received them loved them. They gave her hugs, they gave her beautiful smiles, and they gave her letters of thanks. Now, at 87 years old, Tomoko sews every single day. Not for money. She does it for love. She says, "When I sew, I feel young again. My hands remember what to do. My mind becomes calm. And my heart feels alive. Tomoko didn't return to a job. She returned to her Ikigai. Work is not the enemy. Meaningless work is the enemy. You are not made to do a job you hate for 40 years and then sit on a sofa forever waiting. You are made to find something meaningful, something that feels true to you, and do it in any way you can for as long as you can. Even if it's just for 10 minutes a day. Even if it's just one small act of kindness. Even if it's just one small creation. That is how you stay alive. That is how you heal. That is how you grow. Cheers. Part 6. The power of focus and flow in daily work. Now let's talk about something truly beautiful that the book Ikigai teaches us. It's something that can transform your everyday ordinary life into something special. It is called flow. Flow is a state of complete and total focus. It is that magical feeling when you are doing something and you forget about time. You forget about hunger. You forget about all your stress and your worries. You are fully present, fully alive, fully yourself. Flow is not about achieving big goals. It is about giving your full attention to the present moment. When do you feel flow? It could be when you are cooking a beautiful meal for someone you love. It could be when you are writing something from your heart. It could be when you are painting or designing or singing a song. It could be when you are organizing your space, making it clean and peaceful. It could be when you are helping someone who is in pain. It could be when you are meditating or just walking in nature without your phone. It could be when you are fixing something carefully or building a project, a model, a business. When you are in a state of flow, you don't do the activity for a reward like money or praise. You do it because the activity itself feels like a reward. This is flow, and it is one of the keys to a long and meaningful life. Let me give you an example. Kenji works in a small quiet workshop in Japan. He makes wooden spoons. Just spoons. He has no loud machines, no big marketing campaigns, no fame. But every day he picks up a piece of wood and holds it as if it is alive. He shapes it slowly with deep care and attention. He smooths the edges until they are perfect. He polishes the surface until he can see the light reflecting in it. Hours pass. He doesn't look at the clock. His mind is completely silent. One day, someone asked him, "Don't you get bored just making spoons all day?" Kenji smiled a gentle smile and said, "I am not making spoons. I am making peace with the world." This is flow. It is not about being busy. It is about being deeply present. How can you find more flow in your own life? Start small. Turn off your phone and put it in another room. Choose one task. Just one. Do it slowly. Do it with love. Forget about the result. Just enjoy the process. That could be washing the dishes. You can feel the warm water on your hands. You can see the soap bubbles. That could be watering your plants. You can feel the soil. You can see the green leaves. That could be writing your thoughts down in a journal. The world today is full of distractions. Our minds are always jumping from one thing to the next. But flow brings you back home, back to yourself. And once you find flow, even in small, simple tasks, you begin to feel light. You feel clear. You feel alive, not just existing. So if you are feeling lost, if you are feeling tired, if you are feeling like your life is passing by too fast, don't look for an escape. Look for flow. Give your full attention to something small and simple, and let that be the first step back to your Ikigai. Part 7. 6 Simple Rules for a Meaningful Life. The Daily Wisdom of Ikigai. Now that you understand the deep idea of Ikigai, you might be wondering, But how do these people actually live every day? What are their daily habits? What is their mindset? What do they do differently from the rest of the world? Because it is not just the big ideas that change your life. It is the small, simple things you do every single day. In Okinawa and in many other peaceful villages in Japan, people live by a set of quiet, unwritten principles. These rules are not shouted from the rooftops. They are not printed on big billboards. They are passed down gently from an elder to a child, from one heart to another. Here are 6 of these timeless rules that guide their lives. They are simple words, but if you truly feel them, they can change you. Rule number 1. Take it slow. Modern life is fast. Life in these Japanese villages is intentional. They walk slowly. They breathe slowly. They eat slowly. They even drink their tea slowly. Because when you slow down, you start to feel life. You notice the small details. And when you feel life, you feel peace. Rule number 2. Surround yourself with good friends. They spend their time with people who make them laugh. Cry, share, and grow. Not fake smiles, but deep, real bonds. A small circle of people who would walk beside you through a fire. That is worth more than all the gold in the world. Rule number 3. Get in shape for your next birthday. This is not about having big muscles or a flat stomach. It is about moving your body every single day. Stretching, breathing. Taking care of the only real home your soul will ever have, your body. Even gentle movements give you strength and keep you young. Rule 4. Reconnect with nature. City life with its concrete and noise can make us forget that we were born from the earth. They tell us to go to the trees, walk barefoot on the grass, look up at the sky, touch the water in a river, sit in silence near flowers. Nature does not speak in words, but it heals us. Rule 5. Give thanks. They give thanks for every meal, for every new morning, for every small gift, for every person they meet. They say, thank you, not just as words, but as a way of living. Gratitude softens the heart and brightens the spirit. Rule 6. Live in the moment. Forget the past. You cannot change it. Don't chase the future. It is not here yet. Focus on this moment right here, right now, with your full heart. They do not multitask. They do one thing at a time with presence and with peace. And finally, the most important rule of all is woven through all the others. Do something you love, that you're good at, that helps others and that supports your life. And do it not just as a distant dream, but as your daily reality. Part 8. Life Lessons from Okinawan Elders. Now let's step directly into the hearts of the people who have actually lived with Ikigai for 9,100 and even 110 years. In the Ikigai book, the authors traveled to a small place called Ogimi in Okinawa. This place is known as the Village of Longevity. There, they sat down and spoke with dozens of elders who were still healthy, happy, and living with a clear purpose every day. And what these elders shared was not complicated science. It was wisdom from the soul. Let me share some of their most beautiful and simple lessons with you. One elder, a 102-year-old woman, said, "Don't worry too much." She laughed as she said it. She explained, "Life gives us problems. That is normal. But worry is a second problem that we create ourselves inside our own minds." She did not mean that we should ignore our problems. She meant that we should face them without fear and anxiety. She said, "When you don't worry, you can think clearly. When you think clearly, you can find solutions. And when you find solutions, the problem disappears. Another elder, a 99-year-old fisherman, said, "Always have something to do." He said, "I may not be able to fish like I did when I was young, but I still go to the sea. I still feel the wind on my face. I still fix my nets." He explained that human beings need motion. Not crazy busyness, but meaningful movement. His health stayed strong because his purpose never left him. Many elders shared this lesson. Talk to people even if you are sad. They make a point to speak to their neighbors, to the local shopkeepers, to their friends. Even if it's just for a few minutes, even if it's about something very important like the weather. One woman said, "Talking is like breathing for the soul. If you don't do it, your soul becomes heavy." A 91-year-old man was learning how to play a new musical instrument. He said, "Keep learning." He explained, "When you stop learning, your brain starts to die. I am not afraid of death. I am afraid of boredom." This lesson is so powerful. Age does not kill people. Emptiness does. And finally, a lesson that came from almost all of them. Do something that makes you feel useful. They don't care about being famous or having big success. They care about being needed. Helping a friend cooking a meal for their family, telling a story to a child tending to a plant, singing a song. One of them said, "As long as I can give something, even something small, to the world, I am alive." These are not just motivational quotes from the internet. These are the real voices from real lives of real people who have found the quiet, simple joy of Ikigai. Not in books, but in the way they live every single day. And if they can do it, so can we. Part 9. The Japanese Secrets of Longevity and Joy. Let's now go even deeper. Because behind all of these beautiful habits, and behind all of these happy smiles, there are deeper cultural values that shape the Japanese way of life. These are values that much of the modern world has started to forget. Let's explore them now and understand how they help to create a life of balance, beauty, and quiet strength. Secret 1. Simplicity. Japanese homes are often small and uncluttered. Their clothes are simple and functional. Their meals are simple and healthy. They have a deep belief that less things equals more peace, less noise equals more clarity, less pressure equals more freedom. In a world that is always shouting for more, 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 they quietly choose enough. Secret 2. Cleanliness. There is a belief in Japan that a clean space helps create a clean heart. Your outer surroundings reflect your inner mind. They clean their homes every single morning. They take great care of their gardens. They remove things that are old, broken, or unnecessary. This creates space not just in their homes, but also in their minds. Secret 3. Ritual and respect. They have the ability to turn simple everyday moments into sacred rituals. The way they prepare and drink tea. The way they greet someone. The way they prepare a meal. They bow with respect. They speak with a gentle softness. They treat elderly people with deep, profound honor. Life becomes more meaningful when it is lived with this kind of mindfulness and respect. Secret 4. Wabi-sabi. This is a very beautiful Japanese idea. It is the idea of finding beauty in imperfection. They do not chase perfection. They embrace and celebrate imperfection. The small cracks in an old ceramic bowl. The wrinkles on an old person's skin. The fading color of autumn leaves. They believe that something that is broken or imperfect is not ugly. It is full of stories, full of life. This idea makes life less stressful and much more forgiving. Secret 5. Harmony with nature. For many Japanese people, Nature is not just a place to visit on the weekend. It is a part of their identity. They walk under the cherry blossom trees in spring. They listen to the sound of birds and insects. They grow food with their own hands. They celebrate the changing of the seasons. While much of the world tries to control and conquer nature, they choose to live in harmony with it. Part 10. Laughter. Joy and the lightness of life. The therapy of the soul. Now let's talk about something that many people forget when they think about living a long and healthy life. We often focus on diet, movement, discipline, and purpose. But what about joy? What about laughter? In the village of Ojimi, there's the village of long life. There is something you will notice very quickly. The elders there laugh a lot. They joke with each other. They tease each other playfully. They play games. They celebrate birthdays with great energy. They sing songs. They wear colorful clothes. They do not take everything so seriously, because they understand something that the modern world often forgets. Laughter is not just a sign of happiness. Laughter is medicine. Why does laughter extend life? Modern science has now confirmed what the Japanese elders have always known in their hearts. Laughter boosts your immune system, making your body stronger. It lowers your stress hormones. It improves the flow of your blood. It can even reduce pain. And most importantly of all, it brings people together. You don't need to go to a hospital to heal a wounded heart. Sometimes all you need is a good joke, a silly dance, or a funny memory shared with a dear friend. How can you add more laughter into your own life? First, don't take yourself so seriously. Learn to laugh at your own mistakes. You are human, and being human is a beautiful, messy thing. Spend time with light-hearted people. Be around those who lift your energy up, not those who bring it down. Watch something that makes you laugh every day, even for just 10 minutes. Comedy is medicine for the soul. Be playful. Dance in your kitchen. Draw silly pictures. Tell bad jokes. Be a little weird. Be alive and laugh with your family, even when they annoy you. Find a small moment to smile together. Sometimes people ask, "But how can I laugh when my life is so hard?" The Okinawan elders would say, "That is exactly why we laugh, because life is hard." So let joy be a part of your Ikigai, not something you wait for after you achieve success or after you find peace. Let joy be your path to peace. Let joy be your therapy. Part 11. Life's Greatest Lessons. A final reflection. Now we are arriving near the end of our story. But please know, this is not the end of a video. This is the beginning of a new way of living. Let me now bring together the most important, unforgettable lessons from this entire journey. These are lessons that are not just for today, but for your whole life. Lesson 1. You were not born to suffer. You were born to live. You are not here on this earth just to pay bills. You are not here just to obey rules. You are not here just to be tired all the time. You were born to feel joy, to create, to grow, to contribute, and to smile at the sky. Lesson 2. Life is not about what you do. It is about why you do it. A simple job done with love is more beautiful than a big, important job done with stress. A simple meal cooked with care. A simple plant watered with attention. A simple child hugged with full presence. That is life. That is Ikigai. Shikan Dathrin. You are never too old, and it is never too late. You can always begin again. You can start today, right now. Even if you feel lost. Even if you are 60 years old. Even if you think it's all over for you. Ikigai does not care about your age. Ikigai only asks, what will you do with this one precious moment? Now, Lesson 4. Your purpose does not have to be big. It just has to be true. You do not have to change the entire world. You just have to do something that feels honest, simple, and meaningful to you. Even if only one person in the world smiles because of you, your life has a deep and beautiful meaning. Lesson 5. You already have everything you need. You do not need more degrees, more followers on social media, more clothes, or more fame. You just need time. You need to give yourself your own attention. You need courage. And you need love. And all of that is already inside you right now, waiting. There was once a young man who watched his grandfather die with a heart full of regret. His grandfather had worked hard his entire life. He saved his money. He bought property. He followed all the rules. But just before he passed away, he said something that the young man could never ever forget. He whispered, "I waited my whole life to start living, and I ran out of time." That young man made a promise to himself. He would not wait. He started writing. He started taking long walks in nature. He started learning to play music badly at first, but with joy. He started smiling more at strangers. He earned less money than his friends, but he felt more. He helped more. He lived more. And 20 years later, he still remembers that moment with his grandfather. Not with sadness, but with deep gratitude. Because that painful moment gave him the strength to live his life before it was too late. Part 12. You were born with Ikigai. Don't die without it. This is the final part of our journey together today. But perhaps it is the first chapter of your new life. There is a reason why this book and this idea has reached millions and millions of people all around the world. It is because Ikigai is not a trend. It is a truth. It is a quiet reminder of what we have forgotten. It reminds you that you do not have to chase happiness. You do not have to wait for success. You do not have to compare yourself to other people. You do not have to be perfect. You just have to find the reason that you wake up in the morning. Even if nobody claps for you. Even if nobody understands it. Even if it is quiet and simple and just for you. Example, you. Yes, you, my friend. You are watching this video right now, and I do not believe that is an accident. Maybe your soul was ready to hear these words. Maybe your heart was waiting for permission to live again. So here it is. This is your permission. You are allowed to restart. You are allowed to smile again. You are allowed to follow your curiosity. You are allowed to become the person that your younger self dreamed of being. Ikigai is already inside you. It has always been there. And if you still do not know what it is, that is perfectly okay. Start small. Start now. Start again. Tomorrow. But please never ever stop searching for it. When the people in Ojimi, Japan were asked, "What is your secret to a long and happy life?" they did not say, "Be rich," and they did not say, "Work hard." They did not say, "Win awards." They said, "Stay curious, stay kind. Stay connected, and wake up every day with something to do." That is Ikigai. And that is what I hope this story has given you today. Not just a summary of a book, but a doorway into yourself. You are not broken. You are just waiting to begin. So take a deep breath and begin. And that's where our story concludes for today. This one was a real journey, wasn't it? I am so curious to hear your take on it all. What were your final thoughts as we finished? Do you have any lingering questions about why a character did what they did? Or about any of the ideas we talked about? Please leave all of your opinions, your theories, and your questions in the comments below. I truly love reading them and building this wonderful conversation with all of you in our community. Thank you for walking with me through this journey. I hope it touched your heart. I hope it gave you some clarity. And I hope somewhere deep inside you, it helped you feel ready to begin again. Take care of your mind. Take care of your heart. And take care of your purpose. And always remember, you were not born to be lost. You were born to live with Ikigai. I will see you in the next story. Until then, stay alive, stay gentle, and stay true. Goodbye for now.